Greetings, mercurial, adaptable, restless Gemini. My name is Eliane Nicole. I'm an astrologer and tarot card reader, and now I'm going to do the January 2021 forecast for Gemini. I'm going to start with a tarot reading in the beginning of the video, and in the second half of the video, I'm going to talk about broad strokes of the planetary transits, some of the planetary transits. I encourage you to follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole, because there I will continue the conversation that I start here in a more detailed way as the weeks and the month unfold. But in the meantime and in between time, I definitely encourage you to watch the videos here for your sun and rising sign especially. And as we enter the month of January, Gemini, it looks like you are holding your tongue about something, or holding back a new idea, or there may be delay or postponement in the starting of a new idea or the sharing of a new idea. And you were covered by the Knight of Pentacles. So this looks like an offer or a proposal of some kind. A man is making a material offer. Pentacles correspond to the element of earth, so they have to do with money, resources, things. Knights usually correspond to men. They can correspond to proposals of some kind. And you were crossed by the Six of Swords. This can be a trip or a journey. When it is not a literal trip or journey, it has to do with swords correspond to the element of air, so they have to do with thoughts and words and ideas. And it looks like you are working on this month, when I say working, it's what the Kabbalists call your tikkun, or your karmic correction in this cycle. And January is about, you are moving from a choppy, emotional terrain to a calmer, more serene terrain. And, Gemini is such a mental sign, so this has to do with, calming your mind. And the basis of the situation is the Five of Cups. So it looks like you are, you were turning around in gratitude. You're stepping into gratitude. There are disappointments in the past, but you are choosing in the new year, in January, to focus on the full cups in your life, not what was lost or not what you are disappointed about. And what's leaving is the Fool reverse. So this is a time of second guessing yourself. What could come into being? The Three of Wands. So there's a delay. You're waiting for something. You're waiting for your ship to come in. And it's coming, but maybe it's taking longer than you hoped, but there is a success or an achievement on the horizon for you. Maybe not on the timetable that you originally thought, but it is coming. And what will come into being, the Empress reverse. So around mid-month, we see a woman, maybe she's feeling creatively blocked. Maybe she's just feeling unhappy about something, frustrated about something, stuck in a rut, taking a break, taking a pause, something like that. It's not negative. Fears or insecurities, the Hanged Man reverse. So this is a man who, it could be a person who is, your fears or insecurities might be about looking at things from a different perspective, seeing things in another way than the way you've been looking at them. And others see you. So we see the Knight of Wands, we see a man, it looks like he's riding towards you. He's fiery, he's feisty. Again, sometimes knights are coming with proposals. Fire corresponds to, wands correspond to the element of fire. So personality-wise, the fire people can be very passionate, feisty, but elemental-wise, it can be career and enterprise is reflected by the wands. So Maybe there's someone writing forth with a proposal, a work-related proposal for you. Maybe a fiery, action-oriented man. And your positive feelings towards the end of the month, or Wheel of Fortune. It's about fate, destiny, and the cycles of life. It looks like there is an unexpected twist of events for the better for Gemini at the end of January, which I love seeing. And then the outcome is the moon. And so, I mean, towards the end of the month, it is the full moon of Leo, and the cards seem to be keying in on that energy. And the full moon of Leo for Gemini will be happening in the 3rd house, and this is the house of communication. And so it looks like there is going to be some illumination coming to you through communication towards the end of the month that it looks like it's an unexpected communication that's going to shed a lot of light and be very positive for you. So I'm happy for you and looking forward to hearing more about that. Definitely share with me in comments what that ends up being for you. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology. January 6th, Mars enters Taurus. When Mars enters Taurus, he is entering the Gemini rising native's 12th house of hidden enemies. It's the house of the unseen. It's been called the house of self-undoing. And Mars traveling through that house is, he's going to be interacting with Uranus in that house. So that could bring, a volatile situation. It could bring a fight. It could bring an unexpected aggression towards you from someone else. Or it could bring up unexpected aggression from you towards someone else. So, it's a volatile aspect that will be happening when Mars conjuncts Uranus this month. And then later, in the month, Mars will be opposing everything going on. He'll be squaring off with everything going on in Aquarius. And so that can bring tension, that can bring, power struggles, and things like this. So Mars will be up to things while he is traveling through Taurus. And again, that's in your 12th house. So Mars, Mercury enters Aquarius, your 9th house of God, spirituality, higher truth, higher knowledge. Mercury is the planet of our intellect, how we think, how we speak, how we listen, how we learn. The 9th house, this is, Aquarius is genius, it's brilliance, it's thinking out of the box. I think that this can be a very intellectual and or spiritual transit for you. And you could also be discussing or making future travel plans for, when the bans are lifted, talking about international exchanges or ideas, communicating about spiritual exchanges and ideas. So Mercury will be in Aquarius all month and then going retrograde in Aquarius at the end of the month. So we're going to get both experiences of Mercury and Aquarius in the coming couple of months. But in January, I think it will be a very inventive and philosophical and, just insightful, great transit for you. And Venus enters Capricorn on January 8th. When Venus enters Capricorn, it will be entering your 8th house. This is the house of other people's money. It's the house of, rebirth and regeneration and transformation and things like that too. So you can see manifestations of the 8th house Venus in either way. But Venus in Capricorn in general is very practical and very serious. Venus is the planet of romance and beauty and art. And the eighth house is a relational house. It's where we're dealing with others. So it will be, it'll bring a very serious and practical nature to our interactions with others in around these eighth house and Venusian themes. And then the new moon of Capricorn is January 12th. The new moon of Capricorn is also in your eighth house. New moons are incredibly rich in cosmic fertile soil to plant the seeds of intention you want to manifest. If you watched my December 2020 videos, I talked about writing your business plan while Mercury is in Capricorn. Well, now, although Mercury entered Aquarius January 8th, the new moon of Capricorn is the time to do the magic around our business and financial goals that we already did the thinking and writing and strategizing and planning for while Mercury was in Capricorn through December and the beginning of January. And so January 14th, Uranus goes direct. Uranus direct will be in your house of hidden karma. So this may bring attention to this area. And when Uranus goes direct, Mars will be right there. So this can be volatile in this area. And again, the 12th house is a mysterious house. It can be the house of confinement. It can be the house of hidden enemies, the house of our blind spot. So a shakeup in this area, a plot twist in this area, it's hard to predict what it'll be. And again, it can have to do with an outside force coming towards us. So it's an interesting aspect to watch. I am a Gemini rising, so it definitely applies to me. And very interested in seeing how it manifests. January 15th, the Mercury pre-shadow area begins. So I encourage you, if you have any important contracts to sign, any important kind of events or conversations to have, or a surgery or anything like that, do it in the first 2 weeks of January rather than the second 2 weeks, because once Mercury gets into pre-shadow, it's not as strong as when Mercury is in the retrograde period, but we're going to start to see, the issues that we might be dealing with in a more kind of annoying or irritating way once Mercury is actually retrograde. January 17th, Jupiter squares Uranus. This is a very exciting aspect. I talk about it in detail and at length in my 2021 overview of the whole year video. I did one video that's for all of the signs, and it's kind of a bird's eye view of 2021, all the major aspects that kind of characterize the year. So I encourage you to go back and watch that. But in general, Jupiter's expansion and grace and good fortune. And then Uranus is like freedom and independence. But Uranus can be the rebel and the disruptor as well. And Uranus can be plot twist and the unexpected. So we can see, unexpected liberation, unexpected breakthroughs, the growth and expansion of, it can be very revolutionary. We can also see iconic cultural moments in the arts, or literature, also in science, breakthroughs in that kinds of things. And so it's a really exciting, unexpected expansion of horizons. We can also see breakthroughs and record breaking in sports during this time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be happening around then for the collective. And in your chart in particular for the Gemini rising, it's bringing together Jupiter, that's in your house of God and higher truth and philosophy and religion with this house of hidden karma, So I think Uranus in this and being active in this house for you this year is a mixed bag. I think it's going to bring unexpected shakeups that are very exciting and beneficial, and some that may initially be difficult or challenging, but that are also ultimately, it's so progressive. It's turning over the soil so that we can have new life and new perspective in this, yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm a Gemini rising, so, let's go. January 19th, Vesta is retrograde, and I encourage you to go back to the November 2020 forecast, because I talk about Vesta entering Virgo and what that means for you. But basically that transit is November 2020 all the way until, I think, June 2021. And so there is an invitation. Asteroids, they're not planets, so they're not necessarily going to manifest as strong unless you have a very strongly placed Vesta in your natal chart, which is why it's so important to really have an understanding of your natal chart, because then you really get to know how these transits will affect you, which ones show up strongly for you, which ones you may not really notice, or maybe will be more related to people in your life and things like that. But Vesta is giving you an invitation to, explore what you were devoted to in these fourth house areas where she is. This is your home life. How do you make your home a sacred space, a devotional space? And yeah, I'm going to keep moving to keep the video not going too long. January 19th, the sun enters Aquarius. When the sun enters Aquarius, that's also entering your house of God, your house of religion, of higher truth. And this is an important house for Gemini because the Great Conjunction kicked off a new 20-year era in your life there at the winter solstice. So you see in January, here comes Mercury giving, you the ideas and the thinking in this area. This is the beginning. You're laying down the foundation. You're creating your vision. Saturn is going to bring form to those Jupiterian visions and goals. And Mercury is coming in January, and you're thinking about it, and you're writing about it. And Pallas Athene is there, so you're strategizing and you're seeing where all the players are on the chessboard, and you're figuring out, how you're going to be 2 moves ahead. And this is just such an incredibly exciting time for you, for us, because I'm a Gemini rising. And January 26th, the Neptune is squaring the nodes, and this is such a interesting aspect. It's been building since October. It forms exact in January. It's something that reflects a karmic turning point in our lives, but it's obscured. We can't see it. The nodes have to do with the unseen, but they are karmic forces that are, a turning point is happening, and it may not be visible to you on the material earthly realm, because Neptune has to do with the unseen. Remember, the ancients only dealt with the planets up to Saturn, because Saturn is the furthest planet we can see with the naked eye. Neptune we can't see with the naked eye, and so nor can we see the nodes because they have to do with points. And so this is all very nebulous and foggy and karmic, yet very meaningful. And the astrological clue, even though you may not see it on the surface yet in your life, is that it's bringing together that 10th house of career and attainment, and it's bringing together the house that the nodes are in, which is the house of self and the house of relationships and the house of partnerships. And so this is interesting and exciting. You can, through meditation and prayer, you might be able to get insight to what this is more. And you probably have an idea. I mean, very intuitive kind of Neptunian types, artists and meditators are going to be more in touch with this. And, other people, it may come to you over time as it manifests. And January 28th, but this is why I encourage everyone to have a daily meditation practice. January 28th is the full moon of Leo. That full moon is in your 3rd house of communication. There will be illumination through communication. There may be some illumination around siblings or neighbors as well during this time. The full moon is going to be in opposition to your 9th house, where the Great Conjunction happened. and where this new start in the next 20 years of your life is flowering and blooming. So there's going to be great learning and wisdom around this time, and it's just, wow, what an exciting time for the Gemini rising. I'm so happy to be a part of it and to be reporting it to you. And for the Gemini sun too, these themes are more secondary. You should watch the video for your rising to know the primary, but the Gemini sun, because of the derivative house system, will relate to this, but these aren't your first order themes. And then January 30th, Mercury Retrograde. And Mercury Retrograde is happening in that 9th house. And so we're going to possibly be having communication breakdowns, misunderstandings in these areas. There could be technological problems that happen that prevent our progress or forward movement, or just cause irritation or frustration. Plans that we made around travel or higher education or something could fall apart during this time or get jumbled. Mercury retrograde, they're not death-defying. It's not, tragic. There's nothing to be afraid of, but it can be very irritating and very frustrating and very annoying. And that's why it's good to know when Mercury is coming, so we can kind of plan around him and give him his space to do his thing. But yeah, and he'll be retrograde for the first 3 weeks of February, but his pre-shadow starts January 15th. So again, go back and watch the full 2021 year overcast, and you will see how to plan around Mercury for the entire year. But that's the forecast for today. Thank you for joining me. If you liked it, please give me a like. If you didn't like it, give me the thumbs down. Please follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole to continue the conversation. Please share this video with other Geminis that you know, and thank you so much. Have a wonderful January. Happy New Year.